I think I'm just nervous about today.
Yeah, I get it. I would be too, actually, a little bit, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, there can be some secrets and some dirty laundry aired on this episode. Let's hope not. Let's
Some real behind the scenes in
oh
our podcast world, right?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for it. I don't know if I can handle it. I'm a little nervous. Welcome to the Real Agents Podcast, a weekly podcast where our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to discuss life and real estate and everything in between. Whoops. So if you like your advice and insights shaken and not stirred, well, then this is the podcast for you. That's Nicole Dash.
And that's Eric Harrington. And we are the
Real
Real
Agents.
Agents.
How come I couldn't get that out? That was
I
weird.
don't know. We had a plan. That's okay.
I heard it in my head and it's like, I couldn't get the word out. It was like, and we are the, anyway.
Episode two, season two.
Off to an amazing start. Yeah.
Very amazing.
I think I'm just nervous about today.
Yeah, I get it. I would be too, actually, a little bit, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, there can be some secrets and some dirty laundry aired on this episode. Let's hope not. Let's
some real behind the scenes in our podcast world, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for it. I don't know if I can handle it. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what comes out today. What little gems we can pull out for our many listeners who are liking and subscribing at this very moment.
Many. Both of our listeners, I think, are gonna enjoy this one. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So. Hey, welcome back, Nicole. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you. Yeah, I went and after the last podcast, I watched it back and I said, okay, glasses off, contacts on, redo my hair. I wasn't ready before, but then I realized no matter what you do when you put this on, it's kind of the same. So I spent a lot of money for no reason.
No, your hair looks fantastic. You look wonderful. I know that's sometimes you can't say that, like you can't compliment me anymore, but go ahead, I'll take it. You can shower me with Isn't it like that not PC to compliment people anymore on their appearance? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's okay.
I think I look great, so I'll compliment myself.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that blue just accentuates you. It's very nice.
Makes my eyes pop.
Yeah.
Are you having a good week?
Yeah, having a great week. Real estate world, trying to get focused on my trip next week, going to the beach, but I'm going to be working the whole time, which is nice to be able to work from the beach once in a while. Very rarely do we get to do something like that. Like, I'm a realtor, I get to work from the beach. Not really, like hardly. That doesn't happen, but I'm doing it next week.
Part of me is sad for you. Don't work on the beach. If you bring your laptop to the beach, your laptop should break. You should just enjoy the beach, enjoy the waves. Unless it's me calling and I need something.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay. You know what? I'll be there with my family and my extended family and have the salt breeze and fresh air and all that stuff. And then just get on
the laptop. Yeah, and the laptop and the phone.
And hopefully negotiating some contracts. Like, I would love that. That's okay.
Speaking of negotiating contracts, just a little behind the scenes. I just got a call from an agent on an offer I wrote. So this is going to be a 2-second podcast. We're done. Bye. See you guys later. I gotta go to work. See ya. No. Yeah. It's been a fun week. Wrote a bunch of offers this weekend and competed pretty heavily. But I think we're gonna get a few of them.
What's your percentage recently? Do you have one? Do you have like a batting average? of like how many you have to submit in order to get accepted?
So, as a buyer's agent, I am comfortable with 2 ratified contracts a month. I know
Nice.
that probably sounds low. I don't know.
No, what?
That's
Do you know how many agents out there would be like, oh my gosh, 2 a month? Like
yeah.
what is the average of agents in the country and how much they do per year, the business they do? I mean,
Yeah, I know it's really low. Yeah, I do
yeah.
know it's really low. But yeah, I guess as a personal number though, yeah, I would like to finish with 2 uh 2 a month. I think I'm gonna surpass that this year, knock on wood, unless something goes drastically wrong. And then come talk to me in 2 months or 3 months and I'll let you know. But so to get 2 a month, yeah, you're probably writing, I don't know, maybe 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so different on the listing side, right? It's like actually maybe not. We have to go on a certain amount of appointments in order to get people to sign with us to sell. And then sometimes we're meeting with people and they're selling way in the future. I met with someone who's like, oh yeah, 24, spring of, summer of 24, which is great. I'll sign you up, but that doesn't help me right now. But it all is an accruing effect. And I bet we can talk about this topic for many, 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 many minutes and hours. And we should definitely put it as a future topic. But today,
we got to move on now. Yes, we got to move on, don't we?
Today we have a different topic for everyone. Kind of, something we're now experts on, Eric.
Yes, we are the professionals. And we're going to get into our topic here in a minute. And it's going to be absolutely illuminating for all you folks that are thinking about doing this thing, a podcast.
Podcast.
Stick with us. We'll be back in a minute to talk about our topic.
And we're going to have a special guest. So I'm so excited about this guest.
A special secret guest.
A special secret guest that has all the gems. Okay, we won't hype it too much. We won't hype it too much because, someone
all the dirty laundry
might be a little embarrassed.
Yeah, I'm not ready for this. I don't know if I'm ready for this. We're going to keep this very professional.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back in a second with our secret, special, top secret, wonderful, most beautiful man in the world guest right after this.
Welcome back.
And we're back. We're
so excited. We have with us our very special, most handsomest guest in the world. We embarrassed him so much as we said that.
Wasn't that the greatest intro ever?
Such a good intro. And it's a dad intro.
Yeah.
Dad intro. So I will let you do the introductions, Eric.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Elijah Logan Carrington, Eric Carrington's first son, number 1 son. Way to go, Eli. How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm good. It's early, but
yes, it is.
Glad that we're recording.
Well, and real quick, this is our super producer. This is Eli. He's been our super producer from episode 1. He is the glue that keeps it all together. He is the man behind the scenes, the puppet master. It's a fun job, isn't it, Eli?
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely I enjoy it. I enjoy doing everything for this podcast. It's really fun.
Yep. It's so great that we have someone to help us. Our Mr. Producer, whenever we're talking about Mr. Producer behind the scenes yelling at us saying, you can't say that, you can't see it, but we can see it. He holds up his hands, he gives us cues. And so we really couldn't do this without him. He knows all the technology.
How many times an episode do you think he does?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
I gotta say at least twice an episode.
Yeah.
It already happened 2 times on this episode.
All right. He's like, no, you can't say that. You can't go down that road. So yeah, no, it's great. I'm so excited that we have you here. And I think it's so much fun that we get to work with you, and that, you know, you're teaching us as we go on how to do this, and you're learning as you go, right? A little bit.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about, you know, your interest of all of this, your love of all this, how it is that you were chosen to be our producer.
Oh, of course. Well, I've been sort of, I guess, video editing for fun for about, I want to say since like junior year of high school. I did some stuff for some friends. And then I got into audio editing for school, higher education. And they were like, hey, who better to do this than someone we just have working outside services, because all of our other editors are busy.
Well,
So
let's
yes, go
yeah,
ahead.
I want to back it up a little bit. You've been with our team now for quite a while, and you were with the team when we came up with this podcast.
Concept.
I know, right?
I
put
like
two words together.
podcept. I like.
Can we use that?
That's our title now.
Concept. That's
The
our
concept.
concept for the podcast. Yes, our
Yes.
concept. No, so you are actively on our outside services crew with the team, and what is that? What do you do for the team there?
Oh man, outside services is sort of it's a blanket term. We do a lot. We put out, I want to say, most of the signs that someone would see while they're driving around to houses. All those signs we put up, we help stage houses, destage houses. If we have any clients who are watching, those little gifts that you get in the mail, we mail those out. It's really just a blanket term for anything that's not being an agent,
buying and selling the houses.
Yeah.
Is this your favorite thing to do?
Oh,
on the team?
Absolutely, because I get to stay home.
Gets to stay home and be the puppet master behind the scenes.
And
welcome to the story of my life, the lazy kid in the basement.
And I really love editing. You know, I really enjoy it.
So how do you like working with your dad?
Oh man, it's fun. It's really fun. You know, it was awkward for like the first few months because like I'd see him at work and then he'd be like, okay, see you at home. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I guess I will.
Yeah.
And like he'd ask me like personal questions while on the job. Like we'll be staging a house and I'll be like, so how's life going? You know, how's your fiance? How's that
infection on your foot? You're
exactly like, oh man, your cat. how's my little like cat granddaughter?
Yeah. It was fun. It's always fun. Look, I love seeing you at the office. I will tell you, it got a little bit old where every day I'd come in and someone would go, oh, I saw your son today. He looks so much like you. And I'm like, oh my God, yes, if I was like twice the man. No, just a little background. Yeah, Elijah is a gentle giant. He's what are you, 6'3", 6'3.5", something like
around
that. Yeah, we won't talk about the pounds, but yeah, I mean, you should be on the offensive line. No, you're a big fella. You're a big scary guy. I see you and I get scared.
Okay, well,
but he's the nicest. Right?
I know, that's the thing. He's like this big teddy bear. You just want to give him a hug every time you see him. And I know that would get awkward because I think I did do that a few times.
Oh yeah, he'll just walk up to me while I'm working and just give me a hug, which is okay.
I love how patient you are with us because I know we are not easy to work with. I mean, I know we're all busy, but part of your job is wrangling us, right? Is organizing our schedule, getting us to actually sit down and record, getting us to meet to talk about the topics. And I know we are just not very nice.
Is that the worst part of this, Eli?
Yes. So definitely I'd say the worst part, because like editing itself isn't, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm no like professional editor, but like the editing that I do is not hard. What makes it hard is the time crunch sometimes.
Listen, I saw your resume. It says you're a professional editor. I'm looking at it right here.
I mean, you put in whatever you need to on a resume.
Well, we're professional podcasters now.
Exactly. So. This is a professional operation here. Come on, man.
How many episodes make you a professional? What's the benchmark?
I'd say we just passed. Like season 2, episode 1 made us all professionals.
Oh my God.
Your mouth to God's ears. We need to Google that. Let's see.
We're not. I think it has something to do with like audience revenue.
Oh, I mean, that'll come eventually.
Yeah, just to pull the curtain back a little bit. Yeah. So, was it about almost 2 years ago during the pandemic, we came up with this idea, right? I mean, and it was pushed a little bit by the organization, and we had a few meetings, and it was kind of like, let's just figure it out. Let's figure out how to do this to keep us, engaged during the pandemic. And all of us were learning on the fly, right? I mean, none of us knew how to do this. And yeah, without Eli kind of ruddering the ship, I think we wouldn't have lasted the first day. We would have petered out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, applaud, pat yourself on the back for keeping it all together. You have been the glue, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he did all the hard work behind the scenes, right? I mean, to start a podcast, I actually did one with my husband, short-lived, before the pandemic. And I know I had to build a website. I had to figure out all of the editing. I knew nothing. And it was so many hours of work. Like, I totally respect what he does for us, because we're so busy. We couldn't have been like, hey, Eric, Nicole, let's do a podcast, and then like figure it out. Like, without him, we couldn't have done it. So I'm very happy you're here to figure it out, all the technology, making us wear our little, my favorite.
Your favorite headphones, yes.
And I'll say this, from a very, very early age, you could tell Elijah's tolerance, just his ability to not get exasperated and excited. And there's been a few times on this podcast where I think he's walking that line. But if it wasn't for his calm, laid back approach to every conversation, I think we would have exploded by now. Yeah, that was my Elijah impersonation.
Was that an impersonation?
How was that?
Okay, can you do an Eric impersonation?
No.
Oh, man. I don't think I can. Welcome to the Real Agents. Like, I think that's probably the best I got.
Good.
He's oh gosh, what's the title card? I can't do it.
I never get it right anyway, so don't worry about it. It's okay.
Shaken, not stirred. No, I can't. I can't do it.
Whatever.
That's why I let him do it. He's so good at that. That's like, we were trying to figure out like what we could say to embarrass Eric. But what did you say before?
He is impossible to embarrass, because it's either overconfidence or just not in a bad way, but a lack of awareness.
Oh no. He just said you don't get it. No.
I don't.
I actually think I know how. So, Eric, you have done such an amazing job.
Oh, stop it. All
right. I know how to get you. Okay. Amazing job raising this amazing Mr. Producer. Wow. He's such a good human inside and out. And I know that that's in part because of you as his dad. So
Yeah, well, thank you. Very little part. It has everything to do with all the other people around him: his mother, his stepmother, his brother, his sisters, and his fiance, his cat. Yes, all of that. It's an alchemy that makes that guy over there who he is. Um, I lost my train of thought, but look, the reason I don't get embarrassed is because it's commit to the bit. Yeah,
Exactly. That's probably exactly
that's
what it
it.
is.
He's
That's
the
it.
funny man. He's the funny
Well,
He
man.
commits. He commits.
That's just it. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna get embarrassed by it.
Exactly.
If I'm gonna tell a joke that's terrible, guess what? I'm gonna tell a joke that's terrible.
Yeah. That's
I-
like right
I
on the
also think-
line.
I
on the
think
line.
that's what helps. So like he'll purposefully like embarrass himself sometimes by telling like bad jokes, but he'll do it on purpose. So that way when you see him do something that is embarrassing and he just doesn't react, you're like, oh, okay, that's just Eric.
I love the turn on this podcast episode. This is amazing. I will not have one of my children on.
All right. Smart. Yes. Note to self: never have children.
Never
on
have one
podcasts.
of my kids on.
All right. Let's get back to what we're starting the podcast. This isn't the Roast
Yes.
Eric podcast, but so I came up with this little thing. I was when we talked about what we were going to talk about today. I wanted to talk about the pros and cons of the podcast, like what we enjoy about it, what we don't enjoy about it. And I don't know if you want to go back and forth, but I just on the pro side, I have that this is just a lot of fun.
You know what? I think we should all do one pro, one con until we run out.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
that's just
Well,
it.
that was his.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I enjoy sitting with you guys. I enjoy talking to you and just coming up with the ideas. The whole process of it, I think, is a lot of fun. Sometimes the hardest part, the least fun part, maybe this is a con, is the actual recording of it, because I always feel like I'm screwing it up. So,
No.
No, not
No.
at all.
all right.
Yeah. I think for me, pro of this podcast, I think yeah, I mean, I want to echo it. I want to say the same thing. No, we have a lot of fun, but I feel like we're learning every time. I feel like we're improving every time individually and together. And I think that eventually we will get it. We will know. We will be like, this is it. Do you think so or no? Do you think we're
No.
always
Oh yeah.
we're always gonna watch it back and be like,
I
could've
think
said that
I think
better.
eventually as we work we'll get better and better.
Yeah. And I feel like we're perfecting it. I mean, from the beginning, there's definitely been an evolution with this. And I guess with every format that's creative, that's what it is, right? You start off with this idea and then you figure out what works, you get the kinks out, and then it comes. I think we're a little more intentional. I think we understand our audience more, and I think that that's really important. And we can talk a little bit about audience, but I know we're on pros and cons, but
Sure.
I think that's all amazing.
Yep, I agree.
Oh, yeah. What was your con?
Watching it back. We're so critical about ourselves. Like I watch it, I'm like, Eric's so good. And then he watches it, he's like, Nicole's so good. I'm like, no, I'm like, you're the good one.
Oh yeah.
I don't know
I
what I'm
absolutely
doing.
agree. Well, I think you're both great. So
Oh, that's sweet.
Thank you.
I'd have to say my pro is, I mean, again, like I was saying, I'm certainly no like Marvel editor, but the tips and tricks that I've learned that I just didn't know, and I do feel like my editing is like slowly starting to get better, round out. I really enjoy that. Like, I think editing is probably my favorite part of doing the podcast. I mean, obviously, I love talking to you guys and I love, planning everything out. But sometimes just being like putting on the headphones,
Yeah,
like
being in
closing
it.
everything out and just being the media is just so fun.
Yeah, I get that. You're building something. And
Yeah.
it's always cool when you see the finished product.
Absolutely. And
Go ahead. I'm not going to cut you off, kid.
No, please.
I got
please.
you. No, you know what? I will be dead. All right, quiet. It's Dad's time now. Just to echo what Nicole was saying, the learning part of it is huge, and I think if you look at from episode 1 to where we are now, we have made huge improvements. I think episode 1, I don't want to call it trash, but it wasn't great. But there was something there that I think we were able to grab onto, and you saw it, Elijah. You saw how to tweak it and make it look a little bit better. And I think us as a team, we got a little bit better. And I really enjoyed that part of the growth of it. That's a huge pro, and the fact that we are teaching people things. We're getting some ideas and thoughts out. Not to throw shade on other real estate podcasts, but I listened to a few of them, and I don't want to say they're soulless, but that's the only kind of description I can come up with. There's like, no, it's all like kind of boom, boom, by the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do it this way. And I think ours is more just two people who enjoy talking to each other, talking about, their day in real estate kind of thing.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And I really like that about our podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I think, honestly, I mean, when we started, right, our idea was we're talking to everybody and everyone's our audience. And now I think we've really just owned the fact that we're talking to other real estate professionals, right?
Yeah.
Like, realtors who would enjoy hearing stories about being out in the field in real estate.
Yeah.
Maybe an individual agent that's like, oh, what's a team like? Or, how do they do it? And having fun and hopefully the goal, right, would be that we'd have an audience of agents and other real estate professionals that are just like, hey, they're kind of cool. Let's spend 45 minutes listening to them, just for fun and entertainment value, and also learn something along the way. Like, that's my goal. I don't know. What's your goal on all this?
You asking me or you asking Eli? Because I can tell you my goal is to just hear my son say that I'm cool.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you're pretty cool.
Thank
I'd
you.
say you're pretty cool.
Okay, thanks.
But my goal, at least with this podcast, would be to and I'm not saying that like what we put out I'm not proud of, but I'd love to put out like a podcast episode that's just like perfect, if you know what I mean. Like I feel like there's always like a little something that I'm like that I don't like, or I mean, what people will notice as we're going on. We're going to make a few more changes until we sort of get into our rhythm. Like I'd like to make a new intro that's actually like a bit more not as static, a bit more mobile. There's just so much I'd like to do that I'm really looking forward to, and I think that is my goal.
Yeah.
Make a piece of media that like we're all just like, this is amazing.
Yeah, and I echo that. Yeah, I don't think we've perfected it, and I don't think we're ever gonna perfect it, right? We're always gonna say this could have been different, this could have been better, but it's like one of my cons on this. Not that there's any, it's such a short list. I just want us to figure out the tech, right? I mean, I love the tech, and the tech is awesome, and like everything we change makes it a little bit better. But yeah, and this is this is where I lean on you, Eli, because I know you're the one pushing all the changes, and it's every time you push a change, it gets a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And I'm hopefully before the end of this season, we get to that point where it's like, okay, yeah, we nailed that part of it. This is the part we don't have to worry about anymore. And yeah, I'm excited for that because I'm sure that's going to happen. And if there was one other, con, it is just watching it back can be tedious.
Yeah. It's
right?
hard. It's hard.
Oh,
Well, I mean, watching yourself in anything, like on any video, I did that profile bio video, and it's really hard for me to watch it, but I know it's a good video. I was like, oh, why did he take that shot? I think that's human nature, just to be critical.
That's the
of
worst
ourselves.
angle. Yeah.
Why did I say it that way? No. But yeah, no, I think it's great. And I think hopefully we will continue doing this and getting better. And with your help, Eli, improve and get some listeners, right? Get some people to actually regularly subscribe and like and comment, hint, so that we can, sometimes it feels like we're talking into the wind, right? Like we're just talking. Who's listening? What's the value proposition? Why start a real estate podcast, right? That's the question.
Yeah.
And I know that some people on the team are asking that too. Like, so what exactly is the reason you have this podcast? And I think there's not one simple answer. I think in general, you do it as another leg in your marketing strategy and your branding strategy. I think it would be awesome if someone was like, there was a realtor who was thinking about joining our team and they're doing research and they find our podcast and they're like, oh, I want to hang out with those people. Absolutely. Pretty fun. I think that would be a win.
I think the day I hear someone tell me that, my head's going to explode. Yeah. That would be so cool if someone said, yeah, I listened to your podcast and if it convinced anyone to do anything, I would be so pleased. I would just, I would lose it. And talking about our audience and who they are and what they are, and the gratification when I personally see on like Facebook or on YouTube the number of views, that is super cool. It is. And then when it goes up each time, isn't that awesome? I would love to just one day just be like blown away by it. Now I know that's probably way down the road and I'm not sure how it clicks. And Eli, maybe you could talk to like, what is that secret sauce that one day is going to take us to have more than just a handful of viewers and listeners? Is it us just getting more professional at it? Is it a marketing thing? Is it a cleaner package? I don't know, but what I do know is it's fun trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of different factors. I think, mind you, I've never gone viral, but at least from what I've seen, it's so many different factors. It's like it could be your tech, it could be just the personalities on the screen, it could be everything from like the topic. It could be literally from based on the algorithm of YouTube that day, but a few things that we can do to help that is to always be improving, always be trying to strive to step up our game, always strive to edit better, always strive to host better, always strive to have good topics. And like I think one thing that is good about this podcast is obviously, as of right now, we don't have like an insane amount of regular viewers, but the regular viewers that we do have those interactions with us, sort of. And I mean, things like this are the first interactions for a lot of people, for a lot of people who maybe are thinking of joining the team, or maybe someone had a question about a certain thing and they're looking to buy or sell a house. So they look it up on YouTube and your guys' podcast about it comes up,
That's great. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
You made me think of something. And Nicole, I'll just ask you, do you feel a responsibility to, there's always a responsibility to represent yourself and represent the team but like, do you feel any added pressure to make sure that you come across, I don't want to say likable, but that you're doing the team a decent service with this podcast? Or, and I think I might be a little bit more this way, it's more about just getting across a good message.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
people perceive it the way they want to perceive it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, when you're doing something like this, you want people to tune in and like what you're doing,
Yeah.
right? And get some fulfillment and enjoyment out of it. And I feel really fortunate that we're getting to do this together. And I'm looking forward to bringing on as many team members as possible throughout the podcast, to bring them in, to hear their voices, to get to know them. And so I'm really happy that we have you, Eli, because you're not only our Mr. Producer, but you are an important part of the team. And I know we're going to talk to other outside service people later on, but as you were describing your job, like I just wanted to say that, we couldn't, especially the listing side, do what we do without you, because we are always dependent on, the staging, destaging, the signs, delivering the lock boxes. I mean, everything from the little booties that go in, in the house, whatever it is that we need. And there's been so many times I've been like, oh my gosh, can someone please get a lockbox on that door, or get that lockbox off the door, whatever it is. And not many agents that aren't on a team have a whole department dedicated to getting those things done. So, and so I just wanted to kind of like shout out that for you personally as well, outside of being our producer on this podcast. But yeah, when we do the podcast, we're representing Debbie Doğrul Associates, we're representing ourselves, and hopefully bringing some joy.
Absolutely.
Smiles. Lots of smiles.
So really quick, what is if we're talking about like starting a podcast, if someone is a realtor and they're like, I want to start a podcast, what is like our number one tip? Maybe we each can go around, I don't know, on what
let's
you
all
think
go
we
around
could do.
and do
Yeah. All right, I'll start with you, Eli.
Okay.
What's your tip?
My tip is to dedicate a specific time to doing this. If you truly want to commit, I'd say early in the week is a great time to record. That's usually when we record, and we try to get it out as soon as possible. Give yourself enough time to, edit and all that stuff, because sometimes that crunch is rough.
Yeah. So setting a schedule and sticking with the schedule, and having people unlike us who are good at sticking to schedules and discipline. Yeah. I'll say for me, my number one tip would be just don't be afraid to be yourself. Right. I mean, like, if you're going to do this and you're going to share information.
You stole mine.
Oh, okay.
Keep going.
Sorry. Okay. Well, we got the symbiotic thing going on. So this is what happens when you do this together for a long time. Yeah. I mean, just having fun with it. That was your next one, right? All right. I'll let you go. Go, Eric.
I'm just going to wrap what you said in a different package. It's just be authentic. Yeah. I mean, just try not to be too regimented and, textbook, and just find things that you find interesting, fun, and entertaining, and engaging, and talk about those things. And figure out how it relates to, what you're doing. There's no better advice that I've ever gotten and I think it's kind of cliche, is find something that you're good at and try to make money at it. And if it's talking, if it's engaging with people, and, make that your goal with your podcast. It's talk about the things that you enjoy doing and the experience. This is it's cathartic. When I never feel down at the end of the podcast, you know what I mean? I always feel like I'm always up on energy. So this is a good thing. If there were no viewers or listeners or anything, I would still say, Nicole, let's just do this once a week, because it's good for us.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll be allowed to do once a week forever if we didn't have anyone listening.
I'm not giving back the headphones. I'm not giving back the camera. No. The tip is just be authentic, enjoy it, lean into it, and have fun with it. Yeah. So everything you just said again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think just always trying to improve and think about like who's your audience, who are you talking to, how do you want to talk to them, what information do you want to relay, and putting a little bit of thought behind it rather than just how we originally started, which was like 1, 2, 3, talk.
Winging it. Yeah. Let's just talk. There it is.
And we talk for hours about nothing.
Yeah.
But you want to say something.
Yeah.
So that's important.
Have a message and stick to it. And have a schedule and a script and stick to that. So with that in mind, I think it's time for our next segment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be time to, I think it might be time to call it.
To wrap it up. What's give us our signal.
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah. Show everybody what you say to us, what you do to us. Okay.
It's really usually that, or like, let's close it. Let's,
2 minutes.
wrap it up. Yeah. 5 minutes.
I think this is great. Elijah, I just want to say, listen, I am not only your one of your biggest fans, I am your dad, and I'm super proud of you. Thank you so much for everything you do for this podcast, everything you do for our team, and everything you do for for our family. You and Violet are amazing, and I'm just super proud of you guys. Proud of both of you. I really love you. Thank you.
Wow.
I love that.
I know. What do I say after that? Thank you.
I know.
Remember, Father's Day is the second Sunday in June every year.
You got a whole year. You got a whole.
I know. It just happened. I got time to plan. But yeah, I'm always on the podcast in the background. But it's nice. It's really awesome to be in the front. It's not going to be often at all. But this was fun just talking to you guys. I cannot wait to watch this back and hear my own voice. That's always fun.
Yeah, you're gonna love that.
Yeah, warning. It's not easy.
Yeah. I am really excited for what we have planned this year. Or not even this year, for this season.
This season. Yeah.
The next 18 to 22 episodes. Is that what it is? Something like that?
Absolutely.
And you know what? Just, don't be afraid to put us in our place, because we need that. We need that direction. And even though you're so nice, I like when you're like, no, we have to meet.
Yes.
Today.
Just put some bass in your voice and tell us what to do. Yeah.
You're like, absolutely not. It cannot push another week. It's okay. You can say that to me.
He's done that a couple of times. He stepped it up a few times.
I'm kind of like, all right.
Yeah. I don't know how to deal with that. I'm like, I'm your dad. I can still smack you in the mouth. All right. I've never done that.
No.
Have I ever spanked you?
Uh-oh, let's not talk about this.
Do you want to talk about this on the podcast?
No, we're done. Look here, watch.
I know we're trying to end it. There, Nicole's doing that stuff.
I'm the producer now.
All right. I can honestly say I haven't spanked you recently.
Oh my gosh.
No,
okay, you guys, you two should end the podcast.
Okay.
Thanks. Hey, Elijah, thanks. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks for joining us.
And we'll be back in a second.
Absolutely. Bye guys.
What a good kid, right?
Oh, he's amazing. He really is. I'm so happy we had him on as our first guest of season 2. And I think it was very appropriate to share all about the behind the scenes of what we're doing and why, and then get a little more insight into you, Dad.
Oh, stop it. I do think that he could open the mic more often during the show. I don't know, like if he had something to say, or we can, call him out. Like maybe if we have a guest later on that he works with, more closely on the other end, on the behind the scenes side with the team. Yeah, let him chime in and ask a question or give an insight, because he's got some interesting things to say.
His little screen could like pop up in the corner.
Yeah.
And be like,
yeah.
No, it's great. I'm happy we couldn't do this without him. And we have a format, right? So
right.
talk a little bit about what we're going to do. We've been planning out all of our episodes. So do we want to tease a little bit on what our next episode is going to be like?
Absolutely. So yeah, next week I think we're going to talk about and this is an important topic I think for every real estate agent, that whether you're skinny, whether you're what's a good word for not skinny? Healthy?
I don't know. Healthy.
Thick. But it's the real estate diet. I know for a couple of years there I ate every meal inside my car, and that wasn't fun. And yeah, I think that's something that a lot of real estate agents can talk about. So let's we're going to dive into that next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. So please come back for that lovely, wonderful conversation that we're going to have next week. But before you do that, before you leave us today, we're going to need you to like and subscribe, please. There's going to be a link somewhere on the screen around here, maybe there, over there. Tell your friends about it. Get everybody to join on in, and give us a 5-star rating. Not 4, not 3, not 2, not 1. Even if you hate us, as a spiteful recommendation, give us a 5-star rating.
And you know they love us. Come on.
What's not to love, right?
What's not to love? We're fun.
We just had that wonderful kid on. Eli's worth at least 2.5 stars. Oh, that's so wrong. I'm sorry.
And make comments. If you leave a comment, if you ask us a question, we will talk about it, because we haven't had any before.
I was about to say, have we had a comment yet?
I don't know. I don't think so. But if we do, on that day, we will talk about it. We will say, forget the format.
My God.
Sorry, Eli. We are going to talk about this comment the whole episode.
I'm gonna go on a limb. If you leave a comment, we're going to dedicate that episode to you.
That's what I just said. Exactly.
Oh, did you say that? All right.
Sort of.
We'll even name it. We'll even name it after the comment. Yes.
But only if it's a good comment, though.
Yes. And I don't care who you are. Mom, I know you watch. So, Mom, leave a comment. How have you not commented yet, Grandma? Your grandson was just on. You need to comment.
Oh, yes. Okay. This will do it. This will be the reason we get our first comment.
All right. Thank you.
So, come back next week.
For what?
For
what?
Real Agents of Fun.
Real Agents of Change.
And Real
Agents of Real Estate. We nailed that one.
Oh.
Nice. All right. We'll see you. Like and subscribe. 5 stars. See you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Welcome. Oh. I love this show, man. Welcome